All right, guys. So Lever News here, which is David Sirota's new outlet. I think he rebranded Daily Poster to Lever News. He has this article that just came out. Biden hikes Medicare prices and funnels profits to private insurers. The largest ever Medicare premium increase will pad the pockets of insurance executives who donated millions to the president's election campaign. This story went viral, and it's good that it went viral. This is the stuff that CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, the Nightly News, they should be covering this. They should be leading the charge on this. This should be a scandal. But they're not going to say a goddamn word about it. Because to them, it's just, well, duh, we have legalized bribery under our system. Corruption is standard operating procedure. So they think it's not newsworthy. Not only is this newsworthy, it is the most newsworthy story. It's as newsworthy as it gets. And this is why your government doesn't represent you in any way, shape, or form. Because from the 1970s and onward, the Supreme Court has basically ruled that money equals free speech, and so corporations and lobbyists and special interest groups can just give money to politicians. Then when the politicians get in power, they return the favor. It's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And you're about to see the specifics of it here. So they say, last week, the Biden administration quietly reaffirmed its decision to enact the highest Medicare premium hikes in history right before this year's midterm elections. Geez, I wonder how that's going to impact the elections. You think this will help Joe Biden and the Democrats? At the same time, President Joe Biden is endorsing a plan to funnel significantly more Medicare money to insurance companies and further privatize the government insurance program for older Americans and those with disabilities. This is neoliberal brain rot. Everything needs to be privatized. This is that mindset. And again, the reason they have this position is not ideological, or it's certainly not only ideological. It is corruption that gets them to this position. In effect, the higher premium increases will subsidize the largest payments to and profits for insurance corporations. This comes after Biden raked in roughly $47 million from healthcare industry executives during his 2020 campaign. Wow. So Biden took $47 million from these people. Let me ask you something. Do you think the private health insurance companies gave Biden $47 million because they like his stance on abortion? Or they like things he said about gay marriage? No. It's pay to play. There's an unspoken quid pro quo there. We're going to give you all this money, you're going to look out for us, right? So if they paid $47 million to him and then they get effectively let's say $100 million subsidy in return, well, they just netted quite a bit of money, didn't they? $53 million. This is how it works, man. This is how the sausage is really made. And it's gross. The Biden administration announced on May 27th that due to legal and operational hurdles, Medicare recipients won't see their premiums lowered this year, even though the rate was originally hiked last November, in large part due to the projected cost of paying for a controversial Alzheimer's drug that Medicare now says it generally will not cover. The administration's announcement comes as Biden officials move forward with a jolting 8.5% price hike in payments made to private insurers operating Medicare Advantage plans next year. So Medicare Advantage is the privatized version of Medicare. It's Medicare Part D. So Medicare is public, but then Medicare Part D or Medicare Advantage is private supplemental insurance on top of that. It was all a privatization scheme when it originally came along, and they're jacking the prices for it. The juxtaposition between dramatically increasing payments to private insurance plans that provide less care for higher costs on the one hand and keeping seniors' premiums artificially inflated on the other underscore the Biden administration's conflicting commitments when it comes to Medicare. On the 2020 campaign trail, Biden pledged as president to continue to defend our nation's commitment to older Americans and people with disabilities through Medicare. So much for that. But since taking office, Biden has expanded Medicare privatization by launching the involuntary ACO REACH program and through continuing to promote ever-increasing Medicare Advantage enrollment, and he has also raised premiums for Medicare recipients. The result, advocates say, is a situation in which Medicare's sturdiness as an American institution is steadily being chipped away by well-connected corporate interests. It's the war on our universal programs, is what it is. The privatization effort is reaching a frantic state, and Medicare Advantage is going to fail, said Bill Carteret, president of the American Retirees Education Foundation, due to the fact that the plans must pay profits to investors, unlike traditional Medicare plans. Quote, the industry is hoping to cover up that failure with taxpayer subsidies that none of the taxpayers understand. All Medicare recipients pay premiums for outpatient care, which is called Medicare Part B. That money can be funneled into traditional government Medicare plans or into Medicare Advantage plans run by private insurers that are incentivized to limit the amount of care that elders receive. That's the main point there, man. When you have for-profit health insurance, how do they make more money? By denying care as much as possible. That's how it works. That's the whole problem with our for-profit health insurance system in this country. Is that since it's for-profit, they make more money the more they deny care. It's a perverse incentive structure. And you're never going to get as good of care as you would if you had a public option or if you had Medicare for all. And of course, Medicare for all is the ideal. You could do public funding of public institutions. That's like the NHS system in the UK. Or you could do public funding of private institutions. That's like Canada or France. Either way, that is funded by government money. So anyway, let's continue here. The standard Part B premium for Medicare patients is now $170.10 per month, up 14.5% from last year when it was $148.50. Half of the increase in premiums came from a single drug, Aduhelm, which despite its June 2021 approval by the Food and Drug Administration to treat Alzheimer's disease, is not proven to do so. So they go on to explain here that drug, I mean, the FDA said it. They were like, look, there's really not evidence that this works very well, but they approved it anyway. Well, why? Well, the FDA takes a lot of money from the pharmaceutical companies. So again, massive conflict of interest problem. And this breeds distrust in our institutions. And this leads to the rise of cranks who don't know anything about science or medicine, but they're more trusted than our institutions because our institutions are truly failing us. They're truly failing us. So they go on to say, they cut the price of this drug down, but the premium increase is still happening. And so now that's being funneled for more profits to Biden's donors. So look, it's astonishing when you read a story like this, and then also at the same time you see Biden whining and moaning about like, Democrats aren't defending me, and we have a PR problem and a messaging problem. Why am I not doing well in the polls? Why am I below Donald Trump? Well, gee, I wonder why. Because people are feeling the pain with the economy. You know, with gas prices high, inflation high, now Medicare price hikes. This has consequences. And I don't want to hear Biden whine or bitch or moan when he won't even sign an executive order to eliminate student loan debt. He won't legalize marijuana through executive order. He won't lower prescription drug prices through executive order, which he has the authority to do. He won't even break up Build Back Better into single bills and try to pass it through reconciliation. He could try to get universal pre-K through reconciliation. He's not doing it. He is choosing to fail. And in this instance, he is choosing to be corrupt. And that's exactly what he is. So credit again here to the lever. This story should be a hell of a lot bigger than it is. That's for sure. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.